So initially, there was gonna be one building, the advantage of
I got you. I was confused. I said, was there a meeting I missed that didn't know that?
Right,
so
right. No, one big.
It was
would be
one,
awesome,
it
but
was,
it'd be
yeah,
really expensive.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, no,
Okay.
thanks Cameron for what you've been doing. You know
Yeah,
I
thank you.
appreciate
Oh, yeah.
everything. I think Carolyn has already had my questions answered. I still have your original. And so so I guess what I can do is I can. Okay,
He answered my other one, was funding. How was he doing on funding?
yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just, I'd like to be able to go to people and say, here's what it's gonna be.
And how it looks
Gotcha.
like.
Okay,
It's
that was all.
Easier, smarter way to.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was just hoping you were going to say, no, we're going to build that one and two more. So.
Anybody else got any questions?
I'm good.
And now the wrestling.
Anybody?
So the other building, it just says wrestling on there, but it would be a more utilitarian, you can kind of see it's a big open, area, so cheerleading would be able to use it. There'd be, it's a closed, large area that, an alternative to the gym. And so, right now, it's drawn in with some bathrooms in there. Depending on where it goes, it might not have to have those, but I think it's gonna have to have bathrooms inside that space and be, but outside of that, it's a big, open, flexible use space. We could put the wrestling mats in there, but obviously other teams and other, sports could use that, or other, in general, could use that space.
In this room, heard you say that cheerleaders would get to use it.
Absolutely.
You heard that, Dr. Swinson?
Don-
No,
Don-
that's a need. No, I mean, I remember when we were talking, there's just a lack of space.
I know they move all over the place to find a place to practice, so.
Well, and part of what was the motivator here is like the wrestling team is now, almost 40 kids, and they drove to Eastern Elementary every day, to practice.
Which is where the cheerleaders were practicing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying they keep getting moved around, and, I want to make sure they're going to have access to this. Anyway, go ahead,
Don?
Malcolm, I'm sorry.
Cameron, could you explain the locker room again? You said it was just for equipment.
So I think ideally what it would be is, a space where they could come put their backpacks, soccer bags, that kind of stuff, out of the weather. The way it is right now, when they go to practice, they carry their backpacks, they're just sitting out in the field. So if you get any rain and they're not locked up or anything like that, so it'd be a room where they could come in and put their stuff. And then after practice, get their stuff out of there. And so it could be finished out in different ways. You could decide, I guess, to do a locker, you could just do a benches in there, that would be flexible.
Would there be changing clothes in there?
I have no idea.
The reason I asked is, would there ever be an opportunity that females and males would be there at the same time wanting to use that particular room?
I don't think so, because the men play soccer in the fall and the women play soccer in the spring.
Okay.
So it's two separate seasons, so I would imagine that in the spring, all the guys' stuff is out of there. And,
Plus, this is just preliminary till you get the final
Yeah.
completed.
Yeah, that's right.
And you bring that back when we get done.
You bet.
Yep. Anybody got any more
No,
questions?
just thank you again.
Yep.
Oh, you
Yeah.
bet. So I think the next thing is an action item, I guess, potentially for next meeting, and that would be to move forward on receiving bids to draw up the actual plan. So that needs to be, we have to get bids for that. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right.
September 3rd. You can put it on the agenda for September 3rd.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right, cool.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Cameron.
guys.
Thank you. 5.2, new school update, Dr. Cheatham.
So at the pleasure of the board, on your August 6th meeting, receiving guidance from you. I did speak with City Manager Jonathan Russell, specifically about the 4 acres of land over on the Eastern Elementary School property. Mr. Russell did receive communication that the board was willing to look at 2 opportunities in order to acquire that land. One was a potential purchase, so Mr. Russell is working with local realtor companies to determine price per acre. And the other was the potential land swap of 4 acres at Eastern for 5.26 acres at John Cotton Tayloe. Why the difference is it's the baseball and the softball field at John Cotton Tayloe. So our last conversation is that he would get back to me regarding, what the price of the land might be straight up. But I took off the table at the board's pleasure anything to do with the annex or the park behind us or Kugler Field. All right, so Mr. Russell is very aware that the 2 options that the board was looking at is outright purchase of 4 acres and/or a potential land swap. So as soon as he gets back to me, I'll get back to you.
Anybody got any questions?
Go ahead.
One additional thing is Mr. Height, your architect, has completed the drawing sets for the civil, architectural, food service, and structural design, and he will be here on September 3rd to present those to you.
Just one, and I'm sure there's not an answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Is the city give you any idea what kind of timetable they're on? Because we need to, I know there's not anything you can do about it, but we need to speed them on up and get moving here.
I've asked Mr. Russell to come to a conclusion with the city council so
Okay.
this board can make a decision, and then we can make a presentation to the county commissioners at their next
Right,
meeting.
'cause-
So your board meeting is September 3rd.
Right.
I don't know if the county commissioners meet on the 1st or the 8th, but I believe
Probably
the
not
8th.
because of
So
holidays.
you're still in line to it right now.
Okay, and that was why I was asking, because I realize everything that what we say we're gonna do has to be run in front of the commissioners to decide how we actually move with it, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll hear from the city and have a decision. So since the commissioners meet the week after us, maybe we'll be able to get on their agenda. for
That
the
would be
decision.
nice,
Yeah, the goal is to have the outcome for you to decide on your September 3rd meeting. And then you would give me direction as to what you'd like me to present to the county commissioners on these.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to action. 6.1, Board Policy 3100. We've got an attachment. Who's got this one? Dr. Cheeseman with the updated.
Yes, for policy 3100, at the last meeting, the board asked me to make the following corrections. So if you look at page 1 under 3100, or the top page under letter A, where it says the team must, which is struck out, shall include a minimum 1, and we struck out board member and entered in parent/guardian of a currently enrolled student for each participating school. Additionally, 2 lines down, at the board's pleasure, added in, the superintendent shall work with principals to develop a site-based process used to select parent participants from the curriculum adoption team for the curriculum adoption team. Further down, I also wrote in, the chief academic officer, CAO, shall provide progress updates to the board throughout the curriculum adoption process. That was written elsewhere in the document, but I specifically added the CAO there. Further down, added in all current pre-kindergarten through grade 12 curriculum, including curriculum considered for adoption, shall be aligned to the accompanying North Carolina Standard Course of Study and North Carolina General Statutes. So as your board attorney said that you had repetition here based on the law, that line would then encompass everything that was struck out below it around the Constitution in cursive writing, because it would fall in the Standard Course of Study and the North Carolina General Statute. And then if you flip the page, under the evaluation, I added in for you, the board also encourages external curriculum audits by professional curriculum assessors approved by the board. I believe that was actually left there. That was there prior to me. And then I crossed out in the middle, throughout the process of evaluation of a new or replacement curriculum, the team shall make periodic reports. That's because I put in the previous documentation around the CAO. And
Anybody
so
got any
this is
questions?
for your discussion and consideration.
TW, I've just got one question, just want to get a feeling from the board. On page 2, where you're talking about this, a board member or a parent or someone like that is able to participate on the curriculum team. I feel like that might be a little restrictive just from the standpoint that, you know, we have retired teachers that have a tremendous amount of curriculum and experience. And could this be worded such that, you know, we could solicit some help from a retired teacher to fill this slot? I just wanted to get a feel from the rest of the board about how they feel about that. I hate to continue to make changes at this point in time, but I feel like sometimes if we've got it's great to have a parent involved, a board member involved, or whatever, but realizing that we need someone, it would be beneficial at some point in time to have someone that has definite, you know, irrefutable curriculum experience that might be able to fill that slot.
I think a retired teacher would be good. You know, they've probably got 25-plus years in it.
Clarification though, are you talking about a retired teacher who happens to be a parent? Or
Not
not
necessarily. Not
Are
necessarily.
you talking about a retired teacher who would have a priority, or are you talking about a retired teacher and the other? I'm a little,
We can
confused by
do
that.
that either way. I think sometimes you might have problem filling this slot.
That's what I was gonna
And,
ask. Are you, Gary, are you saying in lieu that we can't find, say, in one particular school, maybe a parent to step forward? Is that what you're saying?
I think that would be beneficial,
You're
yes.
saying parent or retired,
Correct.
not parent and, but parent
Parent
or.
or, yeah.
I'm fine with parent or. That's pretty much as
You can
transparent as
just
you
poll
can get.
the board and see what they
Yeah.
think. I don't, like I say, I'm reluctant to continue to make changes, but
Well,
I think that would
We
be,
can make it on the,
That'd be a simple change.
yeah, that's simple.
it's
You
called
can make it to
fine-tuning.
scratch that and be done, like we did the last one.
Well, you don't have to add but a couple of words, because the sentence says, parent, guardian of a currently enrolled student from each participating central office administrators, teachers, school administrators, representing all various schools and grade levels. So if you want to also put beside of teachers, retired teachers, if that's what you want to do, put it in there. But I want to approve this or can it tonight, one way or the other.
Can we make a motion to approve the couple of words addition and still keep it as an action item? I know it has to
I
be a
don't see
separate.
why we can't. We did it with the
We
other
can
policy.
approve it.
We did it with that other policy the other
We can
week.
approve it with that addition into it.
That's what I'm hoping, so that
Right.
we can,
Yeah.
is that acceptable to Mr. Shreve? You did a lot of this work. Is that acceptable to you?
I'm sorry,
Are
I
you
didn't catch
acceptable
that.
to
What
this-
did you, what are you asking?
Are you acceptable to this change? Because you did a lot of work on this.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm acceptable with it,
Okay.
yes.
You want to make a motion to approve
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve as it was
with the or?
Second.
either or,
got a
as we've just discussed.
All right, all in favor, say aye. All opposed?
you didn't
All
get a
right.
second, though.
I'll
You need to-
second.
oh,
I'll second.
okay. Record a
Hey,
second.
yeah, he said,
Oh,
Charles
he
got the
did?
second.
I didn't hear it, I'm
Charles
sorry.
got the
I
second.
just want it
Oh.
official
Somebody
with the
second.
second.
I knew Charles
I
got
heard
the
somebody
second.
say something, I wasn't sure what he
Yeah, I
said.
didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Charles got
That's
the
fine.
second, so
All right.
I thought I heard it.
Move on.
You probably did. I
All right. 6.2, we got an attachment, teacher assistant supplements.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to get some further guidance from the board. I think at the last meeting, there was some discussion about whether to proceed with this, the teacher assistant supplement this time, or to table it and include it in future budget requests for our local budget request. And so we either want to table this and fold it in, or make a decision on a certain area, just so we can plan budget-wise.
I make a motion that we carry forward the annual supplement number 3.
Number 3.
I may second that, but I'll have a question first. Or can I second it and then make a question?
Yeah, second first.
I'll
then we got
second
the
his motion.
All right, now we got a motion.
Now my question for discussion. Did we this was discussed at a previous meeting. Did we not determine we could afford either of the three plans by finance?
This money comes out of your
Right,
fund balance.
fund balance,
So this
exactly.
this money is not replaced unless
Right,
you
I
county
understand,
commissioners.
and it's
vote
not,
on it.
and this would become a reoccurring expense, but we can take a look at it next year. If you look at the plan, and I know Terry's already done that, or he wouldn't have made the motion. Most of what we have here it's a stepped-up plan depending on years of experience. And you would look at it and say, oh, TA could get as much as a $1,500 supplement, which I'm all in favor if they get that. But you actually have no one with 40-plus years' experience. So even though it's on your chart, Mr. Doan, there's nobody going to get that money.
We're holding out hope.
Yeah, that's it.
Do what now?
We're holding out hope we can keep it 40
Well,
years.
Well, by the time y'all sitting here discussing the 40 years, I won't be here for that discussion anyway. But most of this is going to come in between all the TAs that have up to 20 years or less. I mean, that's where most of you people are at, which is the ones that I think I think everybody should get the money, and they are going to get the money. But I'm just saying, that's the ones that targets that I like. That's why I seconded your motion, Terry. And I'm going to stick by that.
Anybody else got any questions? Go ahead.
This is just a side issue. I mentioned it last meeting about some type of, I would really like to see us pursue a support program, a definite support program for TAs. We have a support program that is published for new teachers, and just to further develop teachers' assistants, I would hope that we would be able to develop some type of a support program for TAs that would give them some incentive to stick around, learn new things, learn more things, be of more assistance to the teachers. The teachers' assistants do a lot, and the teachers do a lot. And anything that we can do to help support them, I think would benefit the school system. So that's a side issue. Hopefully it's something we can take up. I know Mark works with the TAs probably. And I think the principals work with the TAs with regard to providing mentors and different type programs for their development. But I hope that we can formalize that, finalize that sometime in the near future.
I would
Go
say
ahead.
that we currently have several teacher assistants who are going after their teaching degree and certificate, so I applaud that. But at the same time, the whole reason I started this and brought this up a month ago was that, as we all know on the board, and many of you that aren't aware in the audience, we have a lot of TAs that have become our teachers because we cannot fill those spots. And the people in Aurora are very well aware that there were a lot of teacher assistants that were running the classroom. And I just wanted to make sure that they were rewarded. I know we cannot always give them what the certified college degree teacher is getting from the state as a supplement, but it was important to me to see that our teacher assistants were rewarded with something with the supplement this year. And going forward, as Mr. Williams and Dr. Cheeseman and everybody else, we want to try to put that in our budget so that it's not overlooked again. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be satisfied with there being a teacher assistant as the teacher in the classroom. I still want every child to have a certified teacher. They're entitled to that. The problem is finding them. But until we do, I am so thankful for the teacher assistants that are doing a fantastic job, with our students. So thank you, Mark, for all this work.
Can I answer? Go ahead.
Where I was coming from with regard to my comments was, I think if we can show them the love, show them a little love, show them a little appreciation, give them some opportunities to develop themselves, and hopefully at least encourage them to stay and encourage them to maybe eventually work toward a degree or some type of a certification. I know that we have trouble getting certified teachers, and I personally feel that at some point in time, we're gonna have to start looking outside the box to be able to get teachers in the classrooms. And I'd like to at least show some love to these teachers' assistants so that they're there and available and willing to take on some additional duties if needed.
We are very thankful.
I'm sure that a lot of
Yeah.
that's already going on with the principals already, and there's a lot of love being shown.
Could I ask
to them.
one, yeah, can I
Go
ask
ahead.
one more question? Is our audience seeing what we're seeing?
No.
They're not, there wasn't a handout or anything?
there's not a
Okay,
text.
well, I just wanted to make sure what they understand then. So what this is about, TAs were not receiving a bonus. And what this, now will pay out in the school year.
Stipend.
A
Supplement.
stipend, if that's
Supplement.
what you want to call it, supplement, whatever the term is up to 8 years, they start at $200, 9 years, $350, 13 years, $500, 17, $650, over 20, $800, and it continues right on up through $1,500. So I think that's showing some love, Gary.
It sure is.
But I just, same thing, I'm not gonna go on and on. I mean, I'm a vote for it, so my support of TAs is in my vote.
I
I'm
got
gonna
a
give you
motion
money.
and a second on the floor.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. 6.3, come on, Jamie. We got 4 attachments. Which one do you want first?
Northside High School installation project.
All right. You got 3 bids on the bid sheet.
Yes. This work is to start up in chiller rooms where the air handlers are, to rip out old insulation, change control valves that are leaking, and re-insulate. It'll help with leaks that we have, some sweating that's going on, and stop the dripping inside these rooms. And I'm recommending that we go with J&C insulation work at $96,957.
Wasn't the budget
I-
100,000?
Yeah,
Yes.
budget's on the top
Right.
sheet.
Okay.
The budget amount's on the top sheet.
And we are using the excess of that to buy the valves that need to go in these rooms that are leaking, and maintenance is replacing them.
I did some homework on this, and sometimes the internet is a good thing and sometimes it isn't. But in this case, it was a good thing because their reviews from people that have used them were very good. So not only is it a low bid, but it sounds like, you know, we're going with somebody that has a lot of good references. So thank you for that.
And there's not a lot of people that do this type of work either. so.
No.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, where you want to go? NHS bids?
That was that.
Is that what?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, that was the tab sheet. Okay, never mind. We got a 23-24 capital list, and 24-25 capital list on here. Go.
Any questions from the board?
No, I was the one asked for that, by the way. No, when I looked down at, pretty much everything's complete. I just wanted to recap so I can put year 23, 24 behind us. Good job. That's all. Don't need to ask any questions. That was 2 or 3 things on there, but you'll carry those over and I know take care
Well,
of them.
actually, everything that's on last year's capital is
Yes.
either ordered or committed to.
Right, that's correct. I see it. It's all done. Yep, no
And I
problem.
would like to put a plug in for the staff, maintenance staff. Angela is gonna hate me for this, but Angela, my right hand, does a great job helping keep this updated, helping organize bids, keep you guys going. Matthew Crummey's doing a great job helping support me and our maintenance staff. A lot of times the maintenance staff kind of gets not talked about a lot or gets forgotten about along with everybody else, but they do a super job.
Well, let me throw a good plug your way. I've been on the board a while. Miss Booth, I think, I know, has been on longer than I have, and Mac, other than that, I'm the next longest serving member on the board. And in all that time, do you know how many times we've actually completed a capital year by the end of June, July, like what we're in right now, about August? Any guess how many times we've actually completed a year? None that I remember.
Yeah.
None. So you're doing better than a good job. You're doing a great job.
A lot of good hard work and a lot of good buy-in from our, you know,
Yeah.
even our principals. I can't say enough about our principals. We have got a great group of principals. They help out in this process with the capital, getting bids and supporting us on that also.
I think I just saw 1 or 2 smiling out there. So.
Donald's got a question over there.
Mr. Stokes,
Yes, sir.
on the 23-24 capital outlay, under 56 and 61, I see that the soundproof for the gym is, of course, I see it's under technology. the install drop-down screen and sound system for the gym is under technology. And then going to the 2024-25, and I know you haven't gotten to that yet, but I see that those items aren't on there. But I see that the technology has increased, which it may be under the technology. The reason I bring this forward tonight is because I attended the graduation promotion at Bath Elementary, and that building, that gym was full of families, parents, students. I sat in the middle on the bleachers. I couldn't hear a thing. I asked Mr. Clark, I said, there wasn't any room. I said, where can I sit? He said, just find a place. And he said, you won't be able to hear anything. And I'm like, I wasn't sure what he was talking about. So when they started talking, everything was distorted. There's no soundproof in there. My concern is, and I realize that we have to make hard decisions on capital, but going down the road, I think that we need to give attention to that, because I feel like it was embarrassing for a full gym of parents, and you can't hear what they're talking about when students get up, when parents get up, when they have the Veterans Day, a lot of different activities that they have to use that gym for, and you can't hear what they're saying out of the current PA system that they're using. So I would like to, in the near future sometime, I would like to see that improved. We see other schools that, have updates and all on that, and I would like to see that.
Mr. Stokes, can you explain to him the timeline of events, please?
Yes, sir. All right, so in December, so remember, let's go back a year, we had our $5 million HVAC project we did. Bath Gym had complete HVAC replacement. Up to that point, the HVAC was not working up to their capacity, which caused that building to sweat quite a bit, all right? We got those units in, got them running. We had to go through a balancing period on them. Because the problem that we had there was that HVAC was pulling the moisture through the wall, so we couldn't keep the paint on the wall. And this goes back some time,
Right.
okay? The reason that we haven't moved forward, and we will move forward with sound, it's on capital, it's not going away, we will do it. I slowed that down because, number one, I didn't want to put soundproof on the wall when we couldn't keep the paint on the wall. All right, so right after we had those new units put in, one of them quit. So we were unable to balance those units out. They come in, warrant them, put a new unit in there, we've got them up there. We've got it scheduled to get them balanced, and when I say balanced, those units will be forcing more air in than so when you open doors, you'll get a positive pressure. Not a lot, but a positive pressure. So that slows down the moisture migrating through the walls. I did not want to put the soundproof on the walls when we couldn't get the paint. We're going to repaint where the paint was coming off, because we had that building painted. We did a lot of work in there to try to figure out what was going on. So we'll get your sound. We'll get the soundproofing put up. We just had some things that needed to take place before that.
Sure.
And we're moving with that. We got a lot of projects that we're working on. We're going to go through and do some exterior work to the building to help seal it, to help with the moisture control issues on it. We took the local control away, and we've got that now in our computer system, so we can monitor the temperature and the humidity in that building 24/7 now. So we can adjust temperatures accordingly to try to maintain the humidity levels so you don't have the sweating in the building. We live in eastern North Carolina, so we're still going to have some sweating in buildings. That I have not figured out how to stop yet. So, but that is our timeline. We're about there with the work that needs to be done, so I can get the walls painted back, and then we will move forward with technology's help and go ahead and get the soundproofing done and get them a sound system.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie. And I knew that we had some issues there with sweating, and we've talked about that. So yeah, and I didn't realize your timeline on that. So yeah, it was just concerning to to not have any sound in there with big groups coming in there like that.
And if it's on this capital list, it's not coming off that capital list unless you tell me to take it off.
And Mr. Stokes, just so Mr. Shreve's aware, you do stay in contact with the principal, so he understood the condition of the building, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you. I've seen pictures of the entrance into Choppy Wagner Stadium. It was very unsafe for those that have not been there. There was just washing out constantly in this one area, so if you stepped off the sidewalk, you would fall maybe 3 feet or more. And it looks fantastic. So my question, so thank you. Whoever did it all, thank you. It looks so much better. And it's not overdone. It's very simple. It's very aesthetic. Not just gravel and sidewalk and grass. But what's going to keep that from washing out? Did you address that when you filled it in?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it looks great, so thank you. And it's a lot safer because we do have grandparents and people that are handicapped attend soccer games, football games, and that was not a safe way to enter, and it was the main entrance into the stadium, so
Part of the
thank you for
problem
that.
was the drain pipe on the wood side by the school was plugged up. So, we got that unplugged, the whole pipe unplugged. We put rip-rap rock around it, act as a filter to catch all the leaves and pine straw. We're gonna do some more improvements there to help with that debris issue. But we've got it where the water can run through it instead of across it.
Right.
And then it's got a rock subbase so water can permeate through, and then it's on the other side. It's actually got bulkheading like you put in a
Solid.
river, drove in the ground and built up. We've got one little place that we're gonna put some rock around to help with erosion, but it turned out great. And that was a collaboration with coaches and Will Tyson and teachers and stuff at Washington High School. You asked me, what do you want to? I said, well, but we got a group together, come to a consensus, and then had it done, so it turned out great.
I simply asked for a rail, but what I got looks the best it has ever looked in the history of that stadium, and it looks safe for any visitor or home, fan. And that was my biggest concern was it was not safe the way it was, at least not in my opinion, when I witnessed somebody in a wheelchair going over it like that. But it looks fantastic. Thank you so much
Yeah,
to
Jane.
everybody involved.
Yeah, and I wasn't laughing at you when she said that, but she and I had talked, and I told her, I said, I'm pretty sure when we discussed this, we approved a rail, but man, we got a lot more than a rail. So thank you, it looks fantastic, but it was way above what I was
Yeah.
expecting, so once again, good job.
Don's got one more question.
I've got one more. Can we go back to Northside?
Yes, sir.
I got a complaint on some mold there, and of course, I know that we've had a lot of rain. School has been out, but they were concerned about some mold at Northside, and I was told that you were taking care of that. Can you give us an update?
It's taken care of. Tracy's been a great asset there for keeping that school straight. School's ready for children to come in.
So it's good, we're good?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank
Well,
you.
speaking of mold and rain, I happen to know that there's still some leaks at Snowden. And I think that, I'm concerned about that, but there's another thing that I'm concerned about. This may be an ongoing thing, because I know y'all done some work on the water in the cafeteria. And I don't know, you might need to get with Dr. Horton on this, what the latest, because I think since it's been worked on, we still have just hot water in there. And so something is not right unless something else has happened that I don't know about.
If there's an issue, we haven't been communicated to.
Dr. Horton's got a list. She could probably update you on
Normally,
that.
if the lunchroom, me and Joanne Kirby communicate quite a bit. If they've got an issue with a water issue there, she lets us know when we get right on and get it straight, so I'll definitely take a look at that.
Okay, appreciate it.
And on your leak issue, we've got a company, and we've got some leaks here through the district, and we got a company that's already been contracted to take care of it.
Good to go, because I've been volunteering down there, and I've been wiping the mold off the chairs a little bit, and I said, wait a minute, we gotta do something here. So, good to know you're on it. Figured you were.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One last quickie. On the 24-25 I know you haven't started that list yet. I don't mean to put too much work on you. Can you add a column back in like we used to get from you when, if it's a bid of 15, if we have a $15,000 budget, you bid it out and we spend 10, just throw a column in there so that I can keep up with any monies that we have coming short or over, so I can figure out how I want to spend them later.
Gotcha.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Go ahead, Terry. You good?
Is it our time
Your
already?
turn. Yep.
I move that we go into closed session pursuant to General Statutes 143, 318, 11A1 to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel files under General Statute 115C, 321.
Second.